This idea of doing a digital series, I think we were kind of all walking around in shock, like with the pandemic, and all our touring had been canceled and shows and everything that was, in the future was on hold. And so I started to get this idea about wanting to connect with people, because I was like, I want to connect with these women, these artists.
For me, this kind of project is a first time. I've never collaborated with dancers or visual artists. I'm not a big fan of online life in general. I'm much more in real life person. But for this project, it's actually perfect because it's so inspiring that it gave me a chance to explore things that I had never explored before.
Somehow the content of the piece, for me anyway, has really been about this idea of a virtual self and a real organic self, and how the two selves meet. And I feel like the work that we're producing has a little bit of that in that. I'm hoping there's going to be moments where the virtual and the real flesh kind of have a meeting, even if it's a very kind of quick and ephemeral crossing, but I would like some kind of imprint of the real body in there.
Having to work with your body, play with materiality and reflect on also the flesh and the physical presence through the virtual realm. I think there is a nice parallel to be made. On the visual side, like I based my 3D animation on the sculpture in plexiglass. It's just like in order to continue this relationship between the physical and the virtual, so that I really took something from the material world around you to integrate it in the virtual. And I think it will bring really another level to the project.
For me, it's a chance, and it's a real pleasure to try out composing music and erasing myself and not being there. It offers a lot of freedom, and I had never had a chance to do that before. It's very interesting in this process to erase my actual physical self and only focus on the sound and the music.
It gives me an opportunity as a dancer performer to try something totally different. Out of the pandemic, I felt like when things kind of hit, I was so exhausted physically. I needed to just be in a kind of still place. Jump Cut 2 is kind of, as a mover, I barely move in it. I am in stillness. I'm embodying space, and through the texture of all the sound, I feel like it's given me permission to just be and be in my body. And that's a huge kind of freedom. So it's given me a chance to actually try something that if I was being forced to do it on stage first, I don't know if I would have had the guts to do it. I love things that extend beyond their original concept, that they kind of reach out beyond beyond the screen. And sometimes it works the other way, where I've made a piece that's live that ends up being kind of formatted for video, where this is really interesting. It's going the other way. It's kind of pushing out of the boundary of the screen. Potentially, yes, taking a wrong turn, and you feel like you failed, but there's growth. So there's something that you never imagined to beforehand emerges, and you're just like, wow, what is that? I think that vulnerability is it's an interesting charge for the work.
I had that
Yeah.
feeling the whole way through, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's often the case. At least for me, I'm always thinking, I say to myself, these doubts are welcome. It means that I care. And when I don't question anything and I don't doubt, it means I'm bored or I don't care. And that's not the way I want to make art, that's for sure.